As we all know, Japan is known as a peace-loving country. But in 2007, one such incident happened which shook the whole of Japan as well as Britain. The police agency even announced a cash reward of 60 million yen. Despite this one criminal troubled the police administration for 2 whole years. The method adopted by the criminal to dodge the police was beyond anyone's imagination. Despite being true, it looks completely cinematic. After knowing how the murderer got arrested, the punishment given by the court, and the murderer earning millions of dollars while he was in jail, it would be very difficult for all of you to believe. Stay tuned to know the complete story. Well, before starting the story, if you haven't subscribed to CrimeDesk, then please do it quickly. Before knowing about the story of this entire incident, it's very important to know about the 2 important characters of the story. The first character of this story is a girl named Lindsay Ann Hawker. Lindsay Hawker was born on the 30th of December, 1984, to Bill and Julia Hawker in the village of Warwickshire. After Lindsay's birth, her family moved to Coventry. She was a brilliant student, therefore she was schooled at King Henry School. She studied biology at the University of Leeds, where she achieved a first-class honors degree. After graduating in 2006, she planned to pursue a master's degree. But before that, she decides to do something new in life, after which she decides to go to Japan as an English teacher. She gave many auditions in different schools, and fortunately, she got selected in Japan's largest private English conversation school, NOVA. In October 2006, she was posted in Tokyo. Hawker shared her accommodation with 2 other foreign female teachers. Her parents and her boyfriend were still living in England. She used to contact them through email, Skype, and telephone calls. One day, Hawker told her boyfriend how she met Tatsuyaichihashi in an email message. Tatsuyaichihashi is the second most important character of this story. Tatsuya was born on the 5th of January 1979 in Chubu region in Tokyo. His mother was a dentist, while his father was a well-known doctor of the city. Although his parents wanted him to become a doctor too, but Tatsuya didn't feel inclined towards it. After which, he graduated from the Department of Horticulture in 2005 at a university in Japan. However, he didn't pursue any particular profession afterwards and relied on the money his parents gave him each month, which was around 50 to 60,000 yen. He spent most of his time wandering around and going to the gym. He even took martial arts classes and became a black belt holder. One day after completing her work, she was returning home by train. Suddenly, a boy came to her in the train and said, "You are my English teacher." To which Lindsay Hawker replied, "I don't remember your face. Maybe you are confused." The boy then replied, "No, my name is Tatsuyaichihashi. Maybe you don't remember, but you teach me English." After this, their conversation starts. Ichihashi tells Lindsay Hawker that in class, I am already taking English classes from you, but I want you to give me special classes also. She refuses to do so, citing the value of time. Upon this, the boy starts requesting a lot and says, "At least give me 2 to 3 hours of classes per week. I will pay you $35 per hour as a fee." This offer was very appealing to her, so she agreed to give him the special classes. However, she said that she wouldn't teach at his house, but would arrange classes elsewhere. It was decided that the class would be held at a cafe in the city. After this conversation, they arrived at Lindsay Hawker's station and she got off. Taking her bicycle from the parking, she started heading towards her home. As she went a little further, she noticed that the boy she had met on the train was following her. Lindsay tried to speed up on her bicycle to shake him off, but the boy didn't stop following her. Finally, when she reached close to her home, the boy came to her and said, "Please forgive me. Maybe I have bothered you, but I just came here to apologize." Upon this, Lindsay said, "Okay, I forgive you. You can go now." But the boy said, "I'm very thirsty. Can you just give me a glass of water?" This is how he goes inside Lindsay's house. Upon entering the house, Tatsuya notices the presence of Lindsay's 2 roommates who were also staying there. Lindsay introduces Tatsuya as his student to her friends and goes to get water for him. While Lindsay brings water, Tatsuya draws a rough picture of Lindsay Hawker on a paper kept nearby and writes his name, mobile number, and Skype ID on it and hands it over to Lindsay Hawker. Before leaving her house, he once again reminds her that he will come to learn English. After this, on Saturday, around 2 p.m., Lindsay and Tatsuya met at a cafe in the city. Here, Lindsay teaches Tatsuya for about an hour. When it was time to finish the lesson, Tatsuya, feeling nervous, said to Lindsay, "I forgot the money at home. If you don't mind, come with me, and I'll give you the money there." Lindsay agreed to go with him. Both took a taxi on rent and left from there. After a while, both reached the flat. Here, Lindsay immediately says, "You give me the money here." But somehow, Tatsuya convinces her to come inside his house. Before going inside the house, Lindsay tells the taxi driver to wait there, and she'll be back in a while. The taxi driver waits for around 10 minutes, but Lindsay Hawker didn't return from the flat. The taxi driver then left without informing anyone. By now, it was evening. Lindsay's friends tried to contact her, but failed. After 2 days, on roommate's complaint, the police files a missing report. Police officers began investigating from the same room where Lindsay Hawker was staying. First, both roommates were interrogated. In this interrogation, the police didn't find much evidence. However, when the room was searched, the police found the same drawing from her room that Tatsuya had made the other day. When the police asked Lindsay's roommate about that drawing, they told that a student came to meet her a few days ago and gave this drawing to her. Because he had also written his email address and Skype ID on the drawing, the police immediately started searching for him. Here, the police also get CCTV footage in which Tatsuya and Lindsay Hawker were seen together for the last time. Tatsuya's criminal records were checked. The police found that he had no criminal record other than minor fights. Therefore, the police had no doubt on Tatsuyaichihashi so far. Nevertheless, they go to Tatsuya's address on March 27th to interrogate about Lindsay Hawker. 2 officers were sent there. Let me tell you that, according to the Japanese law, if the police don't have a court document and proper reason, they cannot knock on someone's door without any cause. When both the officers arrived, the door to Ichihashi was closed. All the lights in the house were off. Police started questioning neighbors about him. During this time, a neighbor mentioned that there was a lot of noise coming out from his house yesterday, as if something was being broken. After that, when the police officers tried to confirm the history of the house from outside, they noticed that all the lights were off. But when they approached the door, they felt some commotion from inside. The police officers then realized that something is definitely wrong here, so they immediately called for more officers and backup. By around 7 o'clock in the evening, 7 more police officers arrived there. Now, 9 police officers took their positions on different floors, waiting for interrogation. Police officers waited for about 2 hours, but no one came out. The police officers continued to wait there, hoping to catch Ichihashi, but before the police can reach there, he escapes. A police team immediately entered the house, finding the condition inside very bad. Everything was scattered around, and there was a gap in the bathroom. It seemed like something was taken out recently. While searching the house, they reached the balcony, where they found the bathtub. While investigating, they found the balcony filled with sand and dust. When the police searched the bathtub, everyone was horrified. Lindsay Hawker's body was lying in the bathtub. There were very deep wound marks on Lindsay's body. The hair on her head had been shaved, and there were no clothes on the body. Apart from sand and soil, many other decomposing elements were also added in the bathtub. This was done to destroy the dead body as soon as possible. By now, the police had understood that Tatsuyaichihashi had murdered Lindsay Hawker. Police were still investigating, but they got a tip that someone has been seen in a hotel. Based on this secret information, a team of 20 police officers raids Love Hotel in East Tokyo. However, the effort goes in vain, as Tatsuyaichihashi had already fled. The police started putting up posters in the city and announced a cash reward of 600,000 yen to anyone who provides information about Tatsuyaichihashi. Despite massive efforts, Tatsuyaichihashi remains elusive, leading to a slowdown in the investigation. The case receives significant media coverage, and people sympathize with Lindsay's family. leading to increased pressure on the authorities. Meanwhile, the English High Commission also urges the Japanese government to expedite the capture of the perpetrators. The anger towards the Japanese police increases, and campaigns like Justice for Lindsay Hawker starts. For assistance, a team from York City Police in England also arrives in Japan. Due to increasing pressure from all sides, Japan Police initiates a full-scale investigation. Now, 140 police officers were assigned to solve the case. Many a times, police received reports of Tatsuya Ichihashi being seen, but every time he would abscond before the police arrived. A statement is issued by the police in late October 2008 that Tatsuya Ichihashi has committed suicide. But Lindsay's parents, along with the Japanese media, rejected the police's claim, accusing them of weakening the case. On January 15, 2009, Japan Today reports that Tatsuya Ichihashi has fled to the Philippines. However, there was no solid evidence to support this claim. Lindsay disappeared in March 2007, and by March 2009, 2 years had passed since the murder anniversary, but there was no trace of the killer. On the second death anniversary of Lindsay Hawker, many big programs were organized in Japan to commemorate it. Now, when pressure increases on the police, they once again starts a new investigation. In many major cities of Japan, the life-size cutouts of Tatsuyaichihashi was portrayed. Not only that, on June 26, 2009, the Japanese National Police Agency increased the reward from 600,000 yen to 6 million yen. This trick of the police worked. One day, a plastic surgeon from Nagoya City in Japan tells the police that, "Maybe I did plastic surgery on this boy." The doctor said that a few months ago in Nagoya, this boy came to the clinic and had raised his nose a little through plastic surgery. Also, in addition to removing 2 moles present on his neck, he increased the thickness of his lips. The doctor also shows photos taken before and after the surgery. Looking at these photos, the police understood the whole game that Tatsuya was playing. Now, the police puts up photos of Tatsuya after plastic surgery and circulates it to all over the city. Just a few days later, a laborer in the city sees big banners of Ichihashi and informs that it matches the boy he saw on his site. Based on all this information, the police finally raids a construction site in Osaka on November 10, 2009. When the police arrives there, he was ready to escape elsewhere, but the police reaches there before he could run away. Ichihashi realizes that his game is over, so he raises both his hands and surrenders to the police. He was sent to police custody for 23 days, where he was interrogated about the crime. At first, he was not accepting his guilt and was continuously denying it. But when the police started questioning him strictly, he unveils the shocking mystery. Ichihashi revealed that when he first saw Lindsay Hawker in the train, he had decided to do wrong with her. After that, he lied to Lindsay and then prepared an excuse to teach him English. After which, he called her to his house to give her money. When she went to take money, he started forcing her. But Lindsay Hawker had also learned martial arts, so she attacks Ichihashi. Tatsuya Ichihashi was also a black belt holder in martial arts, so he also attacks Lindsay Hawker. A fight between the two went on for some time, but he kicks Lindsay once or twice on her neck, which breaks her neck and she falls down. After this, he brutally rapes Lindsay and strangulates her to death. After committing murder, he hid Lindsay in the bathroom and went to nearby shop to buy decomposing agents along with soil. After bringing all the items, first he shaves her head and puts her in the bathtub, then mixes it with soil, sand, and decomposing agents in it. After that, he pulls the tap and brings bathtub to the balcony and leaves it there. He managed to escape and went from one city to another and then decided to mess up his face through plastic surgery so that no one can recognize him. As a doctor's son, he knew about plastic surgery well, so he easily got plastic surgery done and succeeded in staying safe. After accepting his guilt, he was charged with abduction, rape, and murder and was sentenced to imprisonment by the court. In the meantime, in September 2010, he publicly apologizes to her parents for his deeds. Not only that, while staying in jail, Tatsuya also wrote a book in which he wrote how he met Lindsay Hawker for the first time, and how he killed her. In addition, he also wrote that how he spent his life hiding for 2.5 years and how he got plastic surgery done in January 2011. This book, when released, became the best-selling book. He offered all the earnings from the book to Lindsay's parents, but they refused his offer. Opposing his sentence, Lindsay's parents demanded from the court to hang Ichihashi, but the court refuses sentence to death, considering it too harsh. It was said by the court that Ichihashi's age is 32 years, and it is possible that he can improve in the future, so he should be given a chance. The court's comment received a lot of criticism, but court ignored all these arguments. Currently, Tatsuya is serving his life sentence in prison. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. To watch more thriller stories, subscribe to CrimeDesk.